Hey y'all, Joe for here, the cranky old gay guy. How are you? Yeah? Really? That sounds great. I'm glad that you had a wonderful day. Okay. As the little trailer video promo teaser this morning mentioned, I had a dental appointment today where I had my teeth cleaned and inspected. And yeah, sitting in the car waiting to go in, I was a bit cranky because in the 80s, as I mentioned, there was scientific papers. At the time, we didn't have the internet, so whatever you read in the paper, it would just say medical sources or university studies, but they never really told you when or where. And there was supposed to be this pill. Well, we'll start first. There was this application that the dentist would just brush on your teeth, and if you had cavities, they would dissolve. So there'd be no more reason for drilling. And then they could just dry them out and fill them. Well, that never happened. Another thing was a pill that you could chew up, swoosh around in your mouth with a little water, swallow or spit. I don't think it matters. And something, the enzymes or something, were supposed to get rid of all the plaque, kill any decay, because decay is bacteria. And then it was supposed to somehow keep it from decaying in the future. I don't know if it was a pill a day you're supposed to chew up or how that worked, but that never happened either. And then there is something that I saw just this year, one of those Facebook ads or an ad on a YouTube video, and it was an enzyme tablet, and it was like a little mini infomercial. And of course, they had men in white coats, doctors, who suggest I've been discovering. So they show a chart and them standing in front of a group of people all in white coats and they're giving a lecture. We don't know what they're saying because it's not an image, it's a video image. And I'm sure they're all actors or stand-ins or background people or whatever. And what they were doing was selling a powder or a pill that you mix up in water, and you're supposed to swish it around and drink it. And you only have to do it for like 7 days. And not only is it supposed to stop anything from decaying, it's supposed to clear out the cavities. Well, it's not clearing the cavities, it's supposed to stop them from decaying, and the teeth are supposed to start regrowing. If you have a hole in your tooth from a cavity, the tooth is supposed to rebuild itself and it would push that cavity, all the rotten stuff out. So you'd have a nice, new, healthy tooth. And of course, there were all these testimonials about people who love this and how, oh, I thought I was going to have to get dentures because my teeth were so bad, but I used this and now my teeth are coming in. They're great, they're healthy. The dentist said, what did you do? And they tell them about this product. Well, again, I haven't seen it since. And since I asked the dentist about it and he just laughed, this was 6 months ago or so, my last cleaning. And I didn't talk to the dentist, but I talked to the hygienist who said, yeah, no such thing exists. She was very stern about that. So that didn't happen either. It doesn't exist, which also makes me cranky because that falls under the category of false promises. And cranky old gay guy don't go for no false promises. You don't do that to the cranky old gay guy. No, no, no. That ain't cool. So most of my childhood life, I dreamt of the Jetsons lifestyle that I saw in the Jetsons cartoon, where there'd be all these futuristic things. And part of the futuristic things on the Jetson, I think, was like a cylinder or a cake topper or glass cake, whatever you call it, a cap that would come down and cover you, and it would diagnose you and heal you and all that kind of stuff. Just like that Jodie Foster, Matt Damon movie, I think it's Etherium, where Jodie Foster's the rich scientist or whatever, lives up in the space station society where everyone's wealthy and healthy, and there's a machine that can diagnose all of your problems and heal you. And Matt Damon is stuck on Earth, selling himself through like robotics, as in he becomes part robot so he can pay for his, I don't know what he's paying for, a kid that's sick or something. Anyway, they don't have health care. The people left on Earth are scavengers and used as workers for the rich people up in space. And the whole qualm of the movie, or the whole deal of the movie, is that Matt Damon gets up into space and he reprograms this health machine to save a little girl. But now he's going to die because his implants or the disease he has or whatever has gotten to the point where the machine it only has enough juice or enough material in it to save one person, and this little girl is dying, so he sacrifices himself for that. But I don't know if he does it. Before he does that, he reprograms something which causes the AI that runs this whole wealthy thing to send all of these ships down to Earth with these medical devices to go to all of the outposts where all the people are that are starving and scavenging. And it heals everyone to make Earth a mecca again that's for everyone. And the people in the sky or up in space aren't the only benefits, or they're not the only benefactors. I don't want to use the right word either. They're the only people who have been getting anything out of life. Well, now the people are taking the world back and they're getting healthy again and everything's going to change. And Matt Damon dies. Okay? So the whole premise of that movie, that hasn't happened yet either, which also makes me cranky. It's like, why do we not yet have space colonies? And who knows, maybe we do, but we just don't know about them. Why don't we have space colonies that we know about? And space tourism. I don't want to just take a ship up and, oh, I'm in space, I'm floating for a few seconds and be done with it. No, I want to take something up that actually takes me to the space hotel or the space community on the moon or spinning around on a large satellite kind of disk space station that's big, kind of like Etherium, if that's the name of the movie. I hope it is. But that's what I want, and that's why I'm disappointed in the fact that we don't have that. And if you ever watch Stargate Eternity, I think it was Eternity, there's an entire space program that nobody knows about because it's top secret, because it's I don't want to say interdimensional. They go through stargates to different parallel universes. And there's a whole program that does that. And if you ever have listened to Art Bell back when he was alive, his late night show, there was a guy that used to come on who would use the latest version of night vision goggles. I think it was Vision 3 or 4, whatever was the brand newest. And he said you could look up at the sky and you could see space wars, where you could see actual spaceships fighting with each other and darting around the sky. And you can't pick those up with the naked eye or with the earlier generations, but if you had the latest night vision goggles, you could. But you did have to be in an unpolluted sky where there's no light pollution, like in the country or away from city lights or anything like that. Now, who knows if that is actually occurring? I don't know. I can't really say. I would love to believe that it is. I would love to believe that there's a program like Stargate Eternity. I mean, I want to believe. True, I want to believe, because there's got to be something more interesting than what we've got, right? And there have to be advancements that you hear about that we never see. So they've got to be out there, right? Right? And just like this whole tooth decay thing, maybe it's Big Dental that's keeping all these little things under wraps and not sharing them with the public. Because how hard would it be to create something to dissolve a cavity and then an enzyme or some kind of a structural DNA thing that you could just put in the tooth and it would regrow whatever your tooth's made out of, the pulp. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's bony, toothy matter. So how tough would that really be? And as long as we're on the subject, why aren't we 3D printing teeth. You have to go in for an expensive implant, which means boring a hole up into your jaw or the upper jaw, which I guess is the floor of your sinus, putting in a bolt, a screw, a bolt, letting it grow in place, and then attaching a fake tooth to that. Why can't they just do a scan of your mouth, a digital scan? I've had a digital scan in the past. It's very, very precise. It's kind of like a CAT scan. It goes just around your head. And then from that, print, make adjustments because you want your teeth to be straight. Print out a 3D tooth with ridges on it so it can catch the flesh. And then actually extract a tooth, put it into the hole, and roll it in something that'll help increase growth. If you need to take some of your blood and spin it so you get your stem cells, that would be great too. And after you print this tooth, the root portion will be textured enough that you put it up in there, and I guess you'd have to leave it for a while to let it start growing. You wouldn't want to chew on it or anything, but it would just grow back in place because everything would close in around it. And since it's 3D printed, it would be some type of material that would never be rejected by your body. And it would be harder than carbon steel. So you don't have to worry about chipping your teeth. And they just grow right in place. So why hasn't someone done that either? Because that is a moneymaker. And with 3D printers, you could do that in the office while the patient's waiting. You do the scan, you could get the teeth ready ahead of time, or they could be printed on demand as someone comes in, as they're getting an extraction, the tooth could be printed. And then their blood spun or whatever. And it would all work together and it wouldn't be that expensive. So as long as someone does it, let's go private industry first, but not dental industry, because we don't want big dental stepping in and quashing this, okay? So get out there, promote this, get someone to create a set of teeth and actually implant them in somebody. And again, it could just be a private clinic, a doctor on the side. It doesn't have to be a dentist, and it doesn't have to be big dental, okay? And with these printer, we're talking, you could get a tooth. Right now, an implant is anywhere from $4,200 to $8,500. That is the extraction, the implant, the surgery, coming back and getting this fake tooth and having it inserted. Because the fake tooth alone is going to be $2,000 or $3,000, and it's just a little tooth. So do all that cheaply, so someone could get an entire implant for less than $1,000. And that would be expensive because it's only going to cost them, probably less than $50 plus their time and trouble. So add another $500 to that because everything jacks up the price that way. So now we're talking $600, let's say, for a tooth. Well, that's much better than $4,200 to $6,500 or $8,500 for a single tooth. You could get an entire set of implants. And we're not just talking bolts that plates screw to. We're talking actual implants for less money than it would cost for a full set of implants, which are like $47,000, I think, if you were to add up the number of teeth. Because I did it once and it was like, wow, that's really expensive. So that hasn't happened yet, and that makes me cranky as well. And as long as we're on that subject, let's talk 3D printed veneers. Why is it you have to go and have everything shaped and styled and everything for your teeth? Why can't you just take teeth like mine? They're not perfectly straight. They're never going to be white. Bleach the hell out of them. They're never going to be white. They're an off-white, okay? I can scrub them. I can clean them. I can get them lighter. But as soon as you drink coffee or tea, they're darker. So why not be able to print a grill? Teeth are clean. And the grill is the grill would only be attached on the back, okay? And just at the top. And then you could actually stick them over your teeth, glue them in place, and Well, they wouldn't have to be glued necessarily. You could somehow stick them in there with a denture cream kind of material that you would then rinse your mouth with a, I don't know, peroxide solution or something, which would then release them when you wanted to clean them. So you could wear them a week at a time, and you wouldn't have to worry about bacteria or crap getting up behind them because they're sealed with this rubber goop. And you could eat with them and all that. Why hasn't someone done that? That is another thing I think should happen. And as long as we're on this subject, rather than a grill, I'm just looking. Why can't we do a scan and then have a 3D printer print all of your molds like they would, like Invisalign? Okay, so rather than send off to this company, this costs, I think I had Invisaligns years ago, and it was 40. Well, it was over when I went to an orthodontist. It was 6,000 something, and my dentist, it was going to be something, and then I worked with the dentist and we got it lowered, I think, to 42 something. So 4,200 something for Invisaligns. And they work great. I mean, I had the big old Madonna gap in the front, and one of the teeth was really crooked. It's still a bit crooked. One tooth was longer than the other. It's been filed down. But I did have that big, Lauren Bacall Madonna gap, which really was pronounced. And it did take more than 4 years wearing Invisaligns to actually bring it together and keep it there. I think it was supposed to be 2, and then I had to keep extending it because my teeth would shift, and then the molds that I had wouldn't fit, and I have to have them redone. And that's neither here nor there. The point is that these were all dental promises, and they have yet to materialize, and that makes me cranky. So I hope that you can relate to this video, and I hope that you stayed till the end and listened to all my ramblings, because believe it or not, they're things I think about. That's right, I do, and I can't be the only one. So if you have thought about any of these things, or you like the ideas that I've thought about, how about inventing those ideas and making them come to fruition? I am not in the market to do that. I don't have the ability to do that. But if there's someone out there who knows about this stuff, or is a millionaire who can invest in this kind of stuff, or better yet, a philanthropist who will invest in this and not try to get money back out of it, make it free to the people. Because healthcare should be a government thing, because everyone pays taxes, so everyone should be taken care of that way. Dental is part of healthcare. Mentality is part of healthcare. All of that should be covered under a national healthcare plan, and everyone should be able to get it, and the provider should be paid a living wage. Now, should the provider be paid what some private doctors get now? No, they shouldn't. There's no reason in the world that you should go in for a checkup and be charged $500. That is ridiculous, because that checkup lasts maybe 10 minutes. So the doctor is getting paid, 10 minutes? Let's say the doctor rounds it up and he's going to do paperwork, so maybe 20 minutes. So even that is $1,500, or did I say $500? Yeah, so that would be 3 of those. That would be $1,500 they're getting an hour, because they could do 3 checkups in an hour. Okay, they don't need to earn that. I know they have medical stuff to pay off because they went to school, medical educational loans. Well, guess what? The government could step in and say, hey, you're going to provide this medical service for all of these people who have the National Healthcare Plan. And in exchange, once you do this for the next 2 years or 3 years, all of your loans will be taken over by the government and they will be paid off. Doesn't matter how much they are, they're going to be paid off. And you're not doing this for future dentists. You're doing this for existing dentists and medical providers. And the reason being is because you want them to get used to accepting a more rational payment. Just because you're a doctor doesn't mean that you should be earning, I'm not saying you shouldn't earn this money, but it doesn't mean that you should be guaranteed $1 million+ a year. You just shouldn't, because that's unfair to the people that you're treating. And if they got insurance plans out of this, and it was all just through the one program, then you wouldn't have all these markups that you need to. Okay, I get it. A doctor has to charge an insurance company by diagnostic code. So those add up. So a checkup, you might do 18 different things in this checkup. Each one has a code, each one has a price. So you're charging $40, $60, $100 per code, and you're turning in this $1,500 bill to insurance. And insurance is saying, okay, this code, this code, this code. Okay, we're rejecting this, we're rejecting this. We only pay this much for this code. And they're going to tally it down, and you're probably going to get, I don't know, $150 for that visit from an insurance company. So why not just say, hey, customer, just give us the $150 because that's what we're going to get anyway, and it saves us all this paperwork. And when I say customer, I don't mean me, the patient, although they could do that now, and that would be great. I did have a chiropractor who did that. He would just say $60 a visit because he has to charge insurance 200 and something, and then he only gets back 40. But if you let him charge insurance, then insurance only pays the 40, and then I'm stuck with the rest of the bill. I would have to pay the additional fee. So it's better just to go with the 60. So neither here nor there, and that's off topic again, but we're going to get back to this. The doctor could just say, okay, it's just going to be a flat fee of $60 or $50 or whatever I said a minute ago. And that fee would be paid by the National Healthcare Company. And that way the doctor could see the same number of patients, and they would make the same amount of money that they would after insurance billing, but they wouldn't have to hassle with all the insurance stuff because there would only be one insurer, and that would be the National Healthcare Program. That is paid for by everyone. And when I say everyone, that also means the billionaires who pay no taxes right now or pay less taxes than the person making $40,000 a year. Okay. Oh, we've really covered a lot today, haven't we? So chime in, give me your comments, let me know what you think. If you've heard of these things that I mentioned that haven't come to fruition, let us know. And I say us as in me and all of the viewers. Until next time, this is Cranky Old Gay Guy saying I'm going to sign off. But before I do, is there a dental podcast I could promote? Not one that I've heard. So instead, I'm going to go to the old fallback and for woo-woo science, I'm going to say the YouTube channel, the Y Files, WHY Files, because AJ and Hecklefish cover all of that kind of stuff on the channel. And for conspiracy theory, because all of these are conspiracies about space and stuff, that things going on that we don't know about, I'm going to go back to the Y Files again because they cover that kind of stuff too. Although the dental and medical, I haven't heard anything on there, but check them out anyway. Their link will be in the description. All right, this is the Cranky Old Gay Guy saying happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Take care of your teeth, because right now they're the only thing that you have, and they're expensive to replace. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.